Hey everyone, my name's Daniel. I'm the owner and founder of LeadStart. We're a marketing agency who helps small businesses get more leads, nurture them to close, and then retain them with the power of automations and AI. Today, I want to talk to you guys about cold email in 2025 and what B2B business owners are generating in terms of ROI for their marketing spend through cold email. A lot of business owners these days think that cold email is no longer effective because all the emails just go to spam, and they've heard that Google and Microsoft and the like are cracking down on marketing emails, and basically it's just impossible to get through. But if you can set up your cold email campaign properly, you can actually warm up your inboxes, do a whole bunch of stuff we're going to talk about in this video. You can achieve incredible results, and we're going to go over the numbers and the process that we use here at LeadStart in a little bit here. So let's take a look at some of the numbers here for what a typical janitorial business might be able to expect to make from an ROI standpoint in a city of about 100,000 people. Let's say there's 7,500 opportunities. We're able to identify businesses and facilities that need cleaning services, and we get an average positive reply rate of 1.5%. A positive reply is basically a decision maker who says, yes, we're interested in getting a quote. Even if that's not right now, we're going to take your bid and we're going to keep it on file. We're basically going to start that relationship with you guys. A very good thing. That running the numbers there results in 113 meetings booked if we just run that 1.5% over 7,500. And let's say you're only able to convert 5% of those. Well, that's still 6 new customers within a year's time frame. And if we use that $3,500 monthly ticket amount, we get a net new monthly revenue of $21,000, a net new annualized $252,000. And then if we look at the setup costs and the monthly costs for a campaign like this, we do vary pricing depending on each campaign, depending on the total market size, how many inboxes we need to set up, and how many leads we need to pull and refine. But for something like this, we would get an annualized ROI of over 22x, which is just a fantastic return on investment and a very, very conservative basis here. All right, so let's talk about the process here. We use a 5-step process, and the first step starts with a consultation, and that is discussing with you basically your ideal customer profile, who you're going to be best suited for, some success stories that you've had with prior clients that we can share. People love testimonials and success stories that they can relate to in the email copy. We found it to be extremely effective at converting. And as well as just some pieces about your company history, some unique selling points or value propositions that you might have, something that's going to get people interested. The second step is a domain setup. So what we do is we will actually spin up multiple domains on your behalf. We do this on the first day that you sign up. We begin setting up these custom domains for you, and we begin warming them. And I'll go into what warming means in a little bit here. But basically what we do is we protect your company's sender reputation, so we don't actually use your domain. We don't use any email addresses from your company. And we do that because whenever you're starting a new cold email campaign, or really any cold email campaign for that matter, when you're sending to people that may or may not recognize you, that are not basically current clients or hot prospects that you've been talking back and forth to and nurturing and have showed interest before, you're going to want to be very careful about your domain reputation. So what we do is we set up several what we call adjacent domains. And so, for instance, if your company is called Acme Janitorial, right, and your domain is acmejanitorial.com, well, we would set up a couple or a few domains depending on how big your market is. And we would say, one of them might be called Go Acme Plumbing, or Go acmejanitorial.com, or getacmejanitorial.com, for instance. This way, it's still recognizable. When people see it, they'll still be able to know, okay, we know like this is coming from a legit janitorial company. May probably have heard of you. If you've been around for a while, they're gonna have heard of you, and you'll have that familiarity. We also do URL forwarding. So if they were to type in getacmejanitorial.com, it would actually forward directly to your domain. So it would look very seamless. It wouldn't just go to like a dead page or something. The third step is we verify the leads. So this part is absolutely critical, and so many people overlook this because they'll pull a lead list from somewhere and they think, oh, this is great. I got this super cheap lead list, $100, and I got 5,000 emails off of it, 10,000 emails. I mean, I've seen it before. I've paid, way back in the day, I paid a few $100 for a lead list. It was a few thousand people on there, and I didn't even realize how fast I was going to spam. Whatever list you're given of just like raw emails, you actually need to use a couple of softwares to basically verify those email addresses are still able to be delivered to, because people move, people change domains, whatever that might be, leave the company. And if you are sending to an email address that bounces, basically that's what happens when you send an email that doesn't exist anymore. The email service providers, the ESPs, Google, Microsoft, etc., they see that as a massive red flag, and they're like, whoa, this is not good. Like, this is clearly, this person got a huge list and they just blast it out and they're bouncing. It hurts your reputation, right? So your domain's reputation will suffer as a result, and if you send to enough bad email addresses, you are basically going to end up in spam. We use a triple verification process, making sure that everything gets to the correct and current email addresses. It's just unfortunately the way that data lists are these days. A good chunk of that information is stale. The next step is we write the copy for the sequences in your cold email campaign. And for the copy, we do use the notes that we took from the consultation, as well as our research on your company, your ICP, and just knowing the market in general, to create intriguing and engaging copy in the emails that are, have a strong call to action to get people to book appointments with you, which is the ultimate goal. As I mentioned previously, it's a 12-month sequence that we do run. We do recommend running the campaign for 12 months to ensure all the emails in the sequence are delivered. Last step is the launch, and like I mentioned earlier, there is a warm-up period that happens before we do launch your campaign. So there's a 30-day warm-up basically, and what that means is we take the domains and the email addresses that we create on day one for you, and we put them into a sending and receiving pool. It's basically a simulated, safe way that shows Google, Microsoft, and the like that your emails are being sent and they're being responded to. And so we have this whole pool of email addresses that send back and forth to each other. And so by the time your campaign launches in 30 days, now your email inboxes are what's considered to be warm, and that means that the email service providers will say, hey, we see this email address, we've seen it already send hundreds of emails back and forth. It's all very slow ramp, so it's like day one of the warm-up, there's only one email that gets sent and replied to. Day two, it doubles that. There's an algorithm behind it, but it basically intelligently ramps it up to day 30 until we're ready to go full blast for all the email inboxes. Well, I hope that video was helpful, showing a little bit about what LeadStart does in our cold email outreach. There's a lot more details that go behind it, and we'll be releasing more videos as time goes on to explain kind of more of the technical setup that goes on behind the scenes. If you're interested in learning more about cold email and seeing whether it's right for your business or what kind of ROI you might be able to expect from that, please send me a DM and I'll be happy to get back to you. Thanks for watching.